Thank you, Mr. President. I think we've probably debated this ad nauseum, but I just want to lift this to my colleagues, especially those in the majority. Now, you got a sales tax exemption for firearms, scopes, and all of that. But I want you to know that you're passing a sales tax exemption for firearms before folks can get health care. You're talking about what farmers need. Well, when I talk to farmers, they need employees, they need workers. Well, you can't get workers if they're too sick and hurt to work. So when you say we have a workforce problem, you say folks aren't showing up to work, but you got a sales tax exemption on something that don't work, instead of expanding health care for folks who can work. To me, the dichotomy is what is important to what we're trying to do that you can say this is good and this is not. Well, if you can say the exemption is going to help folks provide for their families and protect their families, there's no greater protection than you giving me a sales tax exemption. If I'm struggling with no jobs and no health care, you leave me the sales tax exemption for the one alternative. So if you want to talk about suicide and suicide prevention, then put the resources in my hand before you give me a sales tax exemption. Because the dichotomy is what you're saying is the quiet part out loud. I'd rather make sure you don't have to pay sales taxes on that firearm, but give you some health care, expand some Medicaid, expand opportunity for you in rural communities. Oh, we don't have any time for that. There's no money for that. There's no anything for that. But like I said last week, we pick and choose what we can find money for. We pick and choose what we can speed up and what we can slow down. We can pick and choose making diapers and formula, the things that families actually buy that everybody could use, because not everybody could afford a firearm. But everybody, if you have a child, needs some formula. Everybody needs some health care. We can all agree on that. But colleagues, I'll leave you with this. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so with that, Mr. President, I yield the well.